I got these from the Dollar Tree. They're 2 for $1. They're really awesome. I've got a bunch of different ones. And they make perfect mayonnaise containers. We don't usually make that much mayonnaise, but it works. And they come in a 2-pack, so if you want to make ranch. This recipe requires 1 egg each, and all of my notes from here on out are going to represent each batch. So if you're wanting to double the amount, it makes about a cup, I would say, of mayonnaise. At some point I actually look at it and try to eyeball it. I eyeball some of the things a little bit off, like the salt. I think I like to add a little more just because we are salt lovers. This happens to be extra virgin olive oil. Not exactly my favorite. I forgot to grab the one that I like, which is the extra light one. It doesn't have as much of that olive oil taste, but I've noticed that olive oil is a bit thicker than the vegetable oil, so I do prefer its consistency to the vegetable oil. And in this video, I'm going to be showing you one with olive oil and one with the vegetable oil. But it really doesn't matter, it's based on your taste. And I actually use the white vinegar, but a lot of people like the apple cider vinegar. I don't much care for it in this particular kind of food. And I can't get anybody else to eat it if I happen to use the apple cider vinegar. So it's 1 cup of your oil of your choosing, whatever to your taste. You're supposed to use 1/4 of a teaspoon of salt. My eyeball is a little bit heavy on this salt. And you can use 1/4 of a teaspoon of the mustard powder or 1 teaspoon of the actual mustard, Dijon or whatever it is to your taste. It's very flexible. I'm just showing you don't have to make it really fancy at all. And here's my distilled white vinegar, which seems to be the only way I can get anybody to actually have this mayonnaise. And you use 2 tablespoons. Some people use a tablespoon of this and a tablespoon of lemon juice, whatever you prefer, but it's got to be 2 tablespoons of something acidic like that. Sorry for the background noise. My rats are playing in. Okay, now I'm plugging in my immersion blender. And I love this thing. Oh my god, I left the sticker on. Yeah. That seems about right. I've been using it for about a year, and I left the sticker on. They're really cheap. They're about $20-25 on Amazon, but it's wonderful. You put it down to the bottom, and you just keep blending until you build... Oh. I don't know why they're so rough. Anyway, back to what I was saying. You want to keep it at the base and build up the egg mixture, and then go up and down and make sure you get everything. But as you can see in the video, like as the white is building up, that's when you can kind of move it around a little bit more. That's pretty thick even with the regular vegetable oil, but I like the olive oil better, so long as I get the right one next time. Okay, now to the next batch. Since we're going to eat it anyway, it doesn't bother me that I'm going from one to the other, but some people are a bit more nitpicky about that, and all the more to you. You can clean off the blender in between, or you could just make one giant batch and then cut it in half and put the other half in there and then mix it with the ranch. Whatever you prefer, this is just how I did it. See, it's just a little bit thicker with the olive oil. Okay, well, it looks about right. So, on to the next step. Okay, I took a little longer than I expected. Okay, so here's the ranch. I'm looking at the cup to see kind of how much mayonnaise is in it. So now that I've looked at it, it's 1 cup of mayonnaise, 1 cup of milk, and 3 tablespoons of the powder. So what we're going to do next is we're going to put the powder into the mayonnaise. That just happens to be the way I prefer to do it. I like to mix it into the mayonnaise first and then mix the milk into everything because I feel like it just blends it a little bit better. But to each their own, this is just how I do it. These immersion blenders are so awesome. They're not very messy. They're pretty easy to use. I don't know if it's possible to make mayonnaise. It probably is with a normal blender, but most people make them that I saw before I got my immersion blender. Most people were making them in actual blenders and just having it on a super low setting because of the way that, but they'd have to pour in the oil very slowly when they did it. Okay, now to add the milk. I'm going to go grab that and my cup. Doing the voiceover afterwards is a little bit odd. Okay, gotta get it the right way around, show that it's a cup. Add your milk and you're pretty much home free. You just gotta blend it up real quick and then it just needs to go into the freezer to chill for 30 minutes. And then you have homemade ranch from your homemade mayonnaise. It's not exactly from scratch, but still really good. Keep blending until you're sure that you've got it all mixed nicely. And I also release my thumb off of the button quite often just so it's not overdone. I mix a little bit with the stick of the blender as well. Don't want to overblend it either. And then there, it says on the back to chill for 30 minutes. So I'm going to pop it in the freezer and then I will show you what it's like at the end. As you can see, it's pretty creamy, still less thick than the mayonnaise, which is pretty much how we like our ranch, right? So you don't want it to be chunky. Thanks for watching. Have an awesome night. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.